Yeah, friends, we can start. We welcome you all. Manga, you can start. Welcome.
Very good evening to one and all. We welcome you to the Deccan Positive Mental Health webinar series. We welcome today resource person Dr. G.C. Kavita ma'am, positive psychologist, CEO of Center for Positive Learning, and we welcome participants and our teammates on behalf of Sukara Manasab Sukkara Mindcare Hyderabad in association with Yellowburn Counseling Center, Hyderabad, India, Forest Creative Heart Studio, Punjab. Thank you all. Over to intro section, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Mangai. Today's resource person is GC Kavita. She is Associate Professor, Positive Psychology, internationally acclaimed inspirational speaker, known as the Happiness Woman, positive psychologist, and psychotherapist, psychometric test professional, and teacher trainer, QPR, gatekeeper trainer for suicide prevention, then social activities for world peace and happiness, have counseled 4 lakh and 17,000 women and adolescents till September 2022 voluntarily on happiness under the title Happiness is Your Birthright. Position held Vice President, ISRA India, then International President, Department of Health and Success World NGO run by Prince Nadia and King of Hawaii Island from 2019 to current. Associate Professor for Positive Psychology at Rockfield College of Sciences and Technology, Zurich, Switzerland. Then visiting faculty in reputed government and private institutes and colleges. Yeah, we welcome you, Kavita. The floor is yours. Please go ahead. You are in mute. I think she left the meeting. We will wait. You are in mute, Kavita. Please unmute yourself.
Yeah, I'm joining from my laptop. Is it audible?
Yeah, audible.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, sure. So, thank you so much. It's such a pleasure seeing you all this evening. Where is the resound coming from? From me?
Yeah.
Oh.
రెండు డివైస్ పెట్టుండారేమో పక్కన పక్కన.
మొబైల్ స్విచ్ ఆఫ్ చేయకపోతే రీసౌండ్ వస్తుంది.
యా, యు ఆర్ ఇన్ మ్యూట్.
No, very good evening, everybody. Am I audible now? Am I loud and clear?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Such a pleasure seeing you all this evening, and I'm sure all of you are from India. So it's a very good evening from my side. So today's topic, like when I was having a discussion with Sunanda, like she was just talking about, let me talk about something that is more related to probably the biggest problem that we are facing, and I felt that, living in the moment probably is the biggest problem. Because we talk so much about that we need to be in the present and we need to do these things, but it's not as easy as we think, or it's not as easy as I say here. Probably let me make it more an interactive session. Let it not be on a lecture mode. You can probably stop me in between. If I'm able to answer your question, I'll be more than pleased to answer your question. In case if I'm not able to answer your question, definitely I'll get back to you, probably reading up some literature on it if I'm not able to do that. And in case, like, if you feel the kind of response what I give to your question is not satisfactory enough, even then let me try to see like what is that best I can do to see that, I give an answer that is that probably is like it makes sense to you all. So having put this as the footnote for today's session, so let me start my talk. Living in the present, or living in the moment, living here and now at this point of time. How many of you, if I can just see some quick responses in the chat box, or if I can see some quick responses, you can just show your hand. I'm talking right now, talking right now. And how many of you are either in the past or in the future? In the sense, like you're thinking about probably something being done in the kitchen, or probably you're thinking about your tomorrow's program, or probably you're thinking about something. You're probably thinking about something. Can I see some hands up, please? Can I see some hands on the screen? How many of you are just on to something else apart from listening to me? Let me put it this way. If I don't see any hands, I'm sure that you're all lying. I'm
We
sure.
want to listen you only. We want to listen you only.
So that's wonderful. Thank you so much, sir. But most of us, when we are doing that, so I see some few hands, being raised. So most of the times, I would say there has been a research that was done in the Harvard University. I'm taking the research from the Harvard University, not because Harvard is a big university or something like that, but I'm taking a research because that's something that they have done it in an interesting way. In the research, two psychologists have found out that 46.9% of the times our mind is wandering. There is a chit chat. I'm sure most of you, I think there should be at least some of you like who meditate. I mean, is there somebody here in the group like who meditate? Who have started meditation or who've been a practicing meditators? Is there someone in the group? Can I hear a quick yes or no from? Is there someone in the group? Yeah. So if there are no meditators, okay, the reason why I ask for meditator, the reason is very simple. When we are taking up meditation for the first time, okay, we are asked to close our eyes. We are asked to stand still with the spine straight. And then we are asked to focus on this. The moment we start doing this, there is a lot of mind chatter that keeps happening. Like, we are thinking about something dwelling in the past, the good or bad of the past. Or we are in the future thinking about a project. We are thinking about some work that is on us, which has to be done for tomorrow. So 46.9% of the time, we are talking about almost nearing half of the waking up time. Half of the waking up time, our mind is in chatter. We are either in the past or in the future. So we are in the past or in the future thinking about good or bad things. And we also say that we are multitasking. We are multitasking on many things, because I'm seeing this. Probably now I'm listening to you, I'm focusing, I'm talking to you, I'm trying to say what is that I need to talk next. So there is something on my mind that is just rolling on. Probably if I'm on your side, I'll be sitting and saying, okay, she's saying something, let me listen to her. But okay, what is my next plan, or what happened in the past, and why did they say this? Or something good has happened. It was such a beautiful moment. Okay. And if my talk becomes boring and boring, over the time, the mind starts wandering more in the past or in the future, depending upon what is in front of you or what has just happened very recently. So, why is this living in the moment very important, and why are we talking about it? As I just mentioned, two psychologists from Harvard has done a very interesting research. In the research, they have found out that 46.9% of the times the mind is wandering, and most of the wandering we are relating to the thoughts of of something connected to something connected to like what is that we should do, or something about our failures, or something about our something about what is going to happen in the future. So most of the thoughts are related to some anxious moments. Most of the thoughts are related to some past regrets, guilt, and kind of negative emotions that we otherwise undergo. So what really happens? What really happens if you're dwelling in the past or in the future? Why is that we need to be in the moment? That is something that's a question that now today we are going to discuss about. Why is it so important, and why do we need to live in the moment? And what are the various strategies that we can train our mind to be in the moment? Train our mind to be in the moment. So but before that, let me give you a very interesting evolutionary aspect of like why we are most of the time, we are thinking about the negative events. Because as I mentioned, we are thinking about some failures, regrets of the past, or some anxious moments of the future. Why is that is happening? So let me connect it to an evolutionary perspective. Evolutionary perspective, when the first evolution started of human beings, things were happening. Okay, so there used to be natural disasters. There used to be something like an earthquake or a volcano, or a tornado or a storm, or you can call it anything. Okay, or there used to be animal attacks, or there used to be some kind of thing. The fear emotion has started from there. So, when there is something that can harm us, the first basic instinct of anything that takes life on this planet Earth is to survive. I'm sure you'll all agree with me on that. We all want to survive. We all want to survive. Why do we want to survive? Because that is a basic instinct. We need to survive. So, what do we do? If we start thinking things very positively, that, okay, I'm going to get into the forest, into a deep forest without any kind of protection with me. Am I going to be safe? Does my mind allow me to be like that? It doesn't allow me to be like that. So, I start thinking about the most negative things that can happen. There could be animal attacks, or there could be something, some poisonous insect, there could be some insect bite. So I need to protect myself. I need to protect myself. With this context, we, as an evolutionary process, the kind of fear and anxiety towards the negative things have been hardwired in us. It has been so much hardwired that today, if you notice, if a child is failing in the exam, there are cases we are hearing that the child is taking away life through suicide. There are cases like that because the fear factor, the hard wiring of the fear factor, considering the various variables around it, has increased so much that the same kind of response of the body and the mind towards any small thing that comes in is too much that our responses are almost like the primitive responses of where we have started facing the threats from various resources. So this is where the negative element, that's the reason why the mind is most of the time hovering on what could go wrong, what has gone wrong, why did this happen, why did that happen. So we are all the time thinking about it. So why do we need to be in the present? Again, I'm coming back to my question. What is the importance of being in present? Like somebody wants to take a chance, like, why do you think it's important to be in the present? Does somebody want to take a chance? Does somebody want to give a response to this question? Why should we be in the present? What is the importance of being in the moment? And please don't tell me that you are here only to state that. I know I'm here to state that, but still, I want to hear if there is any kind of thought process that you're undergoing in this perspective.
Yeah, I would say that otherwise you wouldn't be able to experience the present fully, and you won't be able to respond also, because your responses would be very erratic, because it would be infused with what you're thinking about the past or the future. The responses would be very awry if you're not in the present.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for that. So if we have to really think about why do we need to be in the moment, if I have to quote few variables that are associated with the word moment, what are the variables? Maybe the focus, right? The concentration. We are talking about probably, we are talking about the listening skills. There is a learning that is happening because every moment when we are sitting, there is a learning that is happening. Learning to think of what not to do, learning to think of what to do, learning to think of the excitements, learning about the opportunities, learning about the choices that what we get in life. So there is a learning that is happening at every second. So what are the attributes of learning? The attributes of learning or listening: focus, attention, trying to know what is happening right now, unless until we are able to give these variables at this point of time, here and now the learning cannot be absolute. Absolute, because the word moment is not as easy as it sounds. In the moment, there is so much that is happening, because this moment is something that is going to teach us what we have to be in the future, or it's going to mold our personality. It is going to give us some skills. It is going to give us an attitude. It will give us certain abilities. This moment today, whatever we are now at this point of time, it is a cumulative effect of many moments that has happened over the past. So it's so important. It's so important to be in the moment, to focus, to listen, to give attention, to learn, to build the skills, to build an ability, to build probably an attitude, to build a character, to build a personality. There are so many things that are happening at this point of time. So if you really notice, why do we have many let's take up a typical classroom setup. When we are taking up a typical classroom setup, we have different kinds of learners. We have high achievers, we have low achievers, we have average achievers, we have different kinds of learners. And why were they branded like that? Or why do we brand them like that? Is it because they are not capable? I'm not talking about children with special needs. I'm not mentioning them. I'm talking about a normal child with normal IQ, with an IQ appropriate for the age, but despite and having one teacher in the class who's going to teach the same lesson to everybody, why is that there is so much of difference in a specific class? I would definitely attribute this to being in the moment. Being in the moment. I can give a very beautiful example in this. I was counseling a 10th grader once upon a time, and then so the child said that though it might not be directly connected to what I'm talking now, but definitely it is connected, because anything in this world is connected in some way. We just need to see that where the dots are getting connected, that is where we actually fall into the frame. So one of the students, like, who came to me, he was doing his math work, and then he multiplied the two decimals, and he didn't know where to put the points after the multiplication. This is a concept that's being taught at grade 5. The student has come to grade 10, still there is a foundation, a lack of foundation, at grade 10 level. We are talking about 5 years from where the child is now. Let us take the same example of an adult. Maybe we need to have some planning. Maybe we need to have certain characteristics. Maybe we need to have certain attitudes, which if we had been in the moment, we would have developed, because it will help us to plan for the future, to see what can happen in the future. Because we were not in the moment, we didn't know what happened, the time passed off. The time, 8 hours, what we spend in the work or what we have spent in the office, it's just like that gone, and we didn't know what has happened. So we have missed out on certain things. So when we have missed out on certain things, we are not sure where we have missed out what. We didn't know what has happened. We didn't know where the things have come. So being in the moment is very, very important. People strongly say, I'm multitasking. To be in the moment, multitasking is one of the biggest hindrances. One of the biggest hindrances. They say, I multitask, I do many things at one go. It's not possible to do many things at one go. How can you focus? You have only just one mind. You have a set of two eyes, and every organ in your body is literally fixed. So how can you focus on many things? So when somebody says, I multitask, I'm very good at that, please don't believe them. If somebody is multitasking, which means that there is a compromise somewhere, they are not being in the moment. So what really is the effect of being in the moment? When you're in the moment, okay, as I told you, your mind is either in the past or in the future. When you're in the moment, there is a learning, there is listening, there is observation that is happening. You are gaining some skills. You're changing your attitude. Maybe you're thinking, I'm not supposed to do this. Maybe you're thinking, I'm supposed to do this. There are so many things that are happening. So many things that are happening that is really molding you as a person. That is really molding you as a better person. Probably I need to put it up that way. That way. So it is building up a personality without even knowing that it is building up a personality. This is exactly what happens when you are in the moment. So now you can ask me, it's so easy to say, but how do we really do that? It's very easy to say. But I'm sitting here and my mind is somewhere. I'm thinking about something. I'm thinking about because for next 1 hour, I have some work to do. Or maybe something wrong has happened yesterday and it is troubling me, it is paining me. Or somebody is sick in the home and I'm supposed to think about them. I can't, as you say, ma'am, I can't for 45 minutes. How do you want me not to think about my family? So there is somebody sick at home. So you think I need to focus here and I forget my family for a moment? Is it possible? The response to this question, is, I don't say that don't be in the past. I don't say that don't be in the future. All I say is try to balance. Try to balance. A thought comes here, okay? So be it. Just leave the thought. Don't get attached to it. Don't get attached to it. Because this, I can give a very beautiful simile for this. We think we are just going through the social media and we open our Facebook or one of the social media handles. The moment we start looking at the handle, we just forget that we've been seeing something. The moment we check back, it's almost 1 hour. We didn't even realize that it has been an hour. So all we have to know is we should know how to balance the moment, the present, the past, and the future. The whole idea, the whole strategy. I don't say that you please become now, the great sages wherein you can just focus on within yourself and then do that. It is not possible. But you can definitely balance your thoughts, you can balance your emotions and still be in the moment. So today I'm going to give you some strategies on what exactly that we need to do. When I say I'm not talking about just your physical presence. I'm talking mostly about your mental presence. I'm mostly talking about your mental presence. How do we really bring back this chatter brain? How do we really bring back this chatter brain back into the box and say that this is happening, I'm listening to you, I'm learning something, and there is something that is happening, so I'm being a part of it. So you all know pretty well that in a day, there are many moments. Yes or no? A day is made up of many moments, many moments, in fact. But if I ask somebody, I in fact, I was doing a small research work and I happened to ask a group of people on this. Like I said that, can you name something, that has made you happy today? Can you name something that has made you happy? They were thinking, long time, pauses. What is that that's made me happy? What things have made me happy? What made me happy? So then I asked the second question, can you name something that has made you sad? Or did it make you stressful? Or did you make you guilty? They came up with tap, three responses at one go. So why are we not able to focus on that happiness moments, and why are we focusing more on the sad moments? The reason I already gave you. The reason I already gave you. So, how is that? So, today, when I say being in the moment, there are two strategies I'm going to give you, three strategies, in fact, I'm going to give you. These strategies, along with that, I'm also going to give you what are the various ways that you start finding happiness in your lives. The reason why I'm forced to talk about happiness is like that, like, because when the same is the case, we don't really see, we oversee the happy moments, and or we undersee the happy moments, and we see too much of sad moments. So it's being hardwired. So it's time that we need to rewire ourselves, we need to rewire our thought process, we need to see that what is that we do to bring back and make our thoughts more positive, and to see more happiness in any given situation, in any given environment. I don't say any environment, because when somebody is in deathbed, I don't say that you need to be happy. But let me tell you, such situations are very, very less in number. As I told you, the many moments in a day, if I have to really count back and tell you how many moments really make you feel bad, trust me, it's a fact that the number of moments that make you sad is just one. Unless until you are thinking about the same moment 100 times, which makes you feel that there have been 100 sad moments. But otherwise, there's only one sad moment or two sad moments, or very little moments when compared to the happy moments. Because our definition of happiness, unfortunately, has been attributed to success, victories, to gaining something. So there is always a very cumulative, there is a quantifying way that we see the happiness has to come from. That is the way we have been trained. That is the way we have trained ourselves. That is the way we have been training others, and that is the way we have been doing this. So for us, how do we really define happiness? Because this is also another important question that somebody asks: how do you define happiness? When my son gets a seat in a good college, I'm happy. When I earn my income doubles, I'm happy. When I'm able to do this, I'm happy. So we always attribute, when I see happiness, my happiness, or most of our nature of success, which has an outcome of victory, which has an outcome of something measurable that builds your sense of worth and self-esteem. That is the way we have been trained to see happiness. Nobody teaches us happiness. That's not being taught. So when we are living in the moment, when we can be in the moment, it gives us happiness, because there is a learning that is happening. You're able to see good about yourself. There is a skill that is being built. There is an ability that is being built. There is something that is happening which is so good that makes you, because you start seeing yourself as a different, as an evolved dimension of what you are. So let me now tell you what is that we should do to be happy, or to be in the moment. For me, being in the moment is happiness. For everybody, for that matter, because in the moment, the result, the outcome might come. You might be in the process. There could be something happening, but there is some development that is happening. So what is that we need to be in the moment, and how do we really see that we are happy in a day? Probably my next few minutes will be on this. But before that, I would like to have some discussion and probably take some questions. Are there some questions that I think we need to go about? I'm going to cover the strategies for how to be being mindful, and the strategies for happiness. These two things after this. So I don't want to hear the questions from that. If there is any other question apart from that, I would be more than glad to please take.
My question is,
Yes,
you
sir.
said that we have more happy incidences and less the sad incidences. But we remember sad incidences. If you ask person, they will immediately tell you 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sad incidences, but they will not be able to recollect the happiness. Perhaps the sadness gives pains, and that's why they remember it better than the happiness. What do you say
I'm
about
sorry, sir. What was that? Sadness?
that? Whatever the sad incidences happen, we remember. You said we remember very quickly, and then we said 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. But
Yeah.
for happiness, we have to think and we have to say after some time thinking that this, yes, this happened, very good thing for me and all that. But I feel that because the sadness, this sad incidences or unhappy incidences, they create more pain. And because they create more pain, people will be remembering that more. And they will be able to tell immediately. But as far as happiness is concerned, it only gives the happiness, it doesn't create any pain to you. So it is perhaps that is the reason they don't remember this so quickly.
That is what I said, sir. We are negatively hardwired. Because as I told you, initially when animal used to attack a human being in the forest, when the man used to go for hunting, okay, so there is always a fear when I go, because how do I protect unless until, because as I said, every life that is on earth, the first instinct is to survive. I cannot survive if I think positive. But today, though I'm living in a four-walled safe zone with
Clear.
a security guard and paying 4-5 thousand maintenance every month, for all the things, why am I so worried if my electricity is being cut because I have forgot the bill? Why am I so worried when my neighbor is laughing at me? Why am I feeling the same emotion of what the early man has faced? What the early man has faced during his days in the deep forest. That is where I'm coming to the point. We need to change the mindset. It is time that we need to change the mindset. We are talking about children. Uh, if a girl is not accepting the proposal of a boy, why should he take his life away by suicide? In 130 crore population, is he the only guy? No scope for few more men in the world. And if a child is failing in an exam or scoring 1 mark less or 2 mark less than 90%, why is that the child has to undergo depression? Because of late, if you notice, children, the emotional connection between the children, the emotional connection between the parents and the children, it is lacking so much that we have been robotized. We have been more into technology. We have been so much into technology that there is the child, though lives in a family of 10 people, still is all alone. I know a case that has come to me where the child has made a suicidal attempt. The child has made a suicidal attempt. The child made a suicidal attempt because the child, some girl has rejected the boy. And he's a 16, 17-year-old boy. Then I checked out the family. Family has there around 12 people living in the home. I said, is it home or house? It's not home, it is house. Your house has 12 people. I don't call it home. Why should you feel lonely why should you feel lonely when a girl is rejecting you? And why is that you didn't feel anybody is with you? Why did you feel all alone? Why did you feel left out? Why did you feel you're nobody in the world? What made you
Very
think?
right.
What
Very
made
right.
you think? Yes. So I feel that the most important thing, why the negative events are more in number, because we are lacking that emotional connectivity. And because parents are working, I don't mean to say that parents should be at home taking care of children. No, I don't say that, because career is important, having a social status in the society is important, being independent is important, actually independent is important, having your own self-esteem and sense of worth is important for every human being that I know. That's very important. Because I also give you another example here. uh, Most of the homemakers, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be rude here, but this is my observation. I might be wrong as well, so please forgive me if there is some I'm offending somebody here. After 40, when all the children leave and there is an empty nest feeling that a mother undergoes, the father is busy, because by then he also gets into a position in life, and very soon he's busy because he gets into a leadership role, and there is so much of leadership role that is happening with the father, so there is no time given to the mother. And that too, she's in the phase of menopause. Let's say that she gets married at 20, and then probably, at around 45 plus, she's in the state of menopause. And why is that the women depression is increasing every day? Because each human being, each one of us, we need sense of worth and self-esteem. We need sense of worth and self-esteem. For working women, they get it somewhere. They go to the office, somebody appreciates their work, they take up a challenge, they try to see that they are getting something, they're trying to get something or the other. But at home, we don't really bother to tell the mother if she's cooking and every day stating your food is good, food is good, food is good. We don't state that. But if something goes wrong, little salt is more or spicy, so it's very spicy, we immediately say that today it's bad. But we don't say it on a day-to-day basis, you've done a good job. So where is this woman getting her sense of worth and self-esteem from? Where is the source for it? Where is the source for it? So considering these factors, it is very important that each one of us should work. The reason why I talk about it, when I say work, you need not go to office, but have your own way. Don't charge, but be engaged. Be engaged, because your engagement will build your sense of worth and self-esteem. If you don't feel like working, just go and talk to people. Maybe you are in a community, probably you can go and then say some good words to people, give some good thoughts, probably talk to the children, play with the children, make yourself felt. Yes, in productive things, absolutely. When I say productive is because again we quantify productive in a very big way. The productive could be something like where all the children are at some other country where the old parents are staying here and they don't have anybody to talk. Go and talk to them. Say and there, don't worry. Can I get you some vegetables if I can? So that is all productivity. When I say productivity, I talk about the physical, financial, emotional, and most important, emotional and psychological. That is the biggest poverty in the 21st century we are facing is emotional poverty. It is not for finances. We talk about the fiscal deficit, we talk about all these things, but for me, that is only next. What is something beyond that is the emotional poverty. There are many children, but nobody has somebody to support them. There are many people, but they still feel lonely. They still feel lost. There's nobody. So I come back to my 2 points of what are the various strategies that we adopt to really be mindful, because mindfulness, there has been a lot of research done across the globe which stated that mindfulness or being present in the now will definitely add a lot of happiness. Why would it add a lot of happiness? Because you are learning something, you're listening something, your mind is not wavering here and there. Even if it goes in the past or goes into the future, you pull it back and you say, I'm in the present now. I am not somewhere in the past, I am not somewhere in the future. So I am in the present now. So being in the present, the most important thing is it gives you happiness. It gives you happiness. So what do we do? How do we be in the present? How do we be in the present? Probably, as I told you, we are hardwired. We are hardwired to think about negative, guilt, regret, anxiety, like what do I do? All kinds, fear, anger, many emotions that trouble you and stop you from what you are. How do we do that? How do we build that?
Dr. Kavita, may I ask a question?
Yes, please.
I'm Rajni Nandakumar here. When you're talking about being in the moment, when I will just describe the scenario, please tell me if that is being in the moment.
Yeah,
a short
please.
Scenario, okay?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
morning I'm cooking, and on one stove I'm sauteing something. On another stove the cooker whistles, so I sim it and I look at the clock. My attention is divided. I can hear the tap dripping, so I turn, I close the tap. Then I hear the phone ring. I call out to somebody and say, please attend to the phone. So actually, though I am cooking in the moment, would you say all these things are in the moment happening?
That's a very beautiful question. I really loved it. They are not, all the things are not exactly in the moment, but let me also give you another example here. Let us talk about your one stove, wherein you are sorting something. Another stove where the whistle is going on and you are focusing on the whistle and you forget the sorting. What is the outcome of it?
No, that is not happening. I am equally.
No, I'm just asking you a question. I'm asking
that
you a
is true.
question.
This will get burned. But
Yeah.
then I can't be a great cook. No, I mean good cook. No,
I'll tell you one thing. In the moment doesn't, when I say defining the moment, you are focusing your attention, you are listening at the same time. As you said, the water is dripping. The water is dripping. If you leave it like that, that again creates a stress in you, because the water might overflow that basin or something and the water falls down. You take your broom or something, you start cleaning and mopping it up. Okay. When I say moment, like the moment nowadays, I can clearly describe what is moment. You go to a shadi, you go to a wedding, all the people will be holding this. I've taken many pictures like that. Everybody is busy in that. They are in the moment, but it is not serving the purpose. So when I say being in the moment, you go, is my video paused?
No.
Yeah, right. So there is a divided attention. There's no doubt about it. But you're going back and coming back again. You're not just going and then just just doing the tap. You're not just focusing on the tap, because when you focus on the tap, that's what I said. You need to balance your present, past, and the future. Past and the future. Yes, let me complete answering this, please. Yeah, I'll take up the question next. Yeah. So the water is dripping. It can create a problem in the future. You're going and doing it and then switch. You're coming back again. You're focusing on the work. So when I say moment, living in the moment is a balance between the past, present, and the future. It is just not the present. It's just not the present. There is your total focus on clock, ma'am. Okay. So let us say that you're cooking and you need to send your lunchbox by within 1 hour, and you don't see the time and you're just cooking. I'm happy.
I think she means the clock is when I sim the cooker stove, I'm noting the time because I need to switch off in 10 minutes. So obviously my eyes go to the clock and come back.
It is all connected. Yeah.
It is all connected.
Yes, when I say the moment, you are working at that point of time, ensuring that your work has a positive outcome. Even let us say the case of the tap comes in or something comes in, you're quickly switching over, but coming back again. It is not that you go on and switch off the tap and you find your neighbor and start chatting with her, forgetting about the food. Okay. So quick shifting over to the past, but again returning back to is living in the moment. You cannot absolutely do one thing. When I say multitasking, it is something like I'm talking now, you're listening, and your son is calling, so you're talking and you're listening. So you don't really listen to what I'm saying. There is something focuses on that because you are supposed to answer the question. So living in the moment, let me redefine it very clearly. You are doing some task and this task is associated with certain thing, and there are certain other things that are happening around which can create a problem. So those things you go back, complete, and come back again. So you are balancing the future concerns, you're balancing the past concerns, you are thinking about it. Let us say you're going to go for an interview. You have failed in an interview. Okay. You're sitting in the interview and you think about that interview thing, failure thing. Okay. It gives you goosebumps. It gives you a kind of anxiety. It starts thinking, oh my God, what will happen if I fail again? That idea, that thought would come to you. But what you need to do is switch on. You said, yes, what did I do? Why did I fail? Was my communication bad? What was bad? Am I not qualified enough? If you're not qualified enough, then why did you apply for this? So you're wrong at the first instance, right? So communication, what is I have better communication skills, but probably I failed at that time. Probably I'll fail. That thought will come. Switch over, come back again. That is living in the moment. Did it make sense, ma'am?
So it is.
Yes. Yeah.
See, madam, can I add? Isaac Newton, not the theory of gravity, only because he was living in that particular moment. No apple fell on him and all this thing. He was in that particular moment to take a feeling. Then they ultimately discovered the theory of in the particular.
Sir, you're muted, sir.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, you're audible now, please.
Yeah, see, I would like to say Isaac Newton discovered the theory of gravitation only because he was living in that particular moment without focusing on anything else. So Apple fell on him, and then immediately he got into the discovery mode, and then he got the theory of gravitation. Can we say that?
There are two options here, sir. That is again a very relative thing. Maybe if I was in Newton's place, I would have thought about this apple as very tasty fruits, and I've eaten and would have been happy. Maybe, not everybody who lives in the moment would have created or discovered something. Because again, my moment depends upon what my priorities in life are. Okay, so let us say that I'm doing something, I'm doing something, and this is what gives me happiness. I do. And here happiness is a very relative term, sir. Maybe a very lushy red apple falling on me, I'll just, I'll say, wow, it's so nice, let me eat it, and I'm happy about that. I would definitely not have been Newton. Newton is Newton because that is his priority. He started thinking about it. So living in the moment is again, let us understand the second point. Living in the moment also has our own priorities at that point of time. For me, I have to cook and finish my lunch and pack the lunch bags. That is the priority. For somebody, cooking and finishing and not getting into the kitchen is their priority. So if you notice these two cases, the person who wants to finish the kitchen work and come back because after that the sun falls into the kitchen, it is so hot and sultry, I don't want to cook. I don't look into the time, I only look into the sun. For a person who wants to pack the lunch and give the lunch back, the person looks into the clock because there is a time factor that is associated with that. So my priority at that point is different from the priority of what the other person has. So we need to understand living in the moment is completing what my priorities are at that point of time. I go to a school. What is the purpose of going to the school? To understand it much more clear, it is very, very important that we need to know the purpose of why we are doing that. What is the purpose of doing that? A student goes to a school. What is the purpose of it? So the definition of being in the moment is different for a student. The definition of being in the moment is different for a homemaker. The definition of being in the moment is probably different for an army guy, who's wherein they are at the border and there is some that shooting going on. He needs to be alert. He needs to be quick, and he needs to safeguard himself. So when we have to really define what is being in the moment, it depends upon what is the purpose of the work that we are into. What is the purpose of the work that we are into? So we cannot generalize like this will be the moment. We cannot generalize that would be the moment. So now let me go back to, are there any strategies, please? Are there any further questions you want me to take, or let me complete the strategies and come back to you? Should I complete the strategies and come back to you again for the questions?
Yes.
Thank you so much. So, what are the strategies? Yeah. So, it sounds silly, but let me tell you, this is how it works. Let us say that I'm give you two situations. Okay. The situation one, what I have said just now. You are attending an interview. Next is your turn. And you will be called. You are thinking about your past failure. Okay. Past failure is coming and sitting in you, giving you scary feeling, giving you the feeling of fear, and you're shaking, you're palpitating. Okay. Under these situations where your past failure is intervening, is interfering with your present moment, this technique is very, very simple. Just focus on your breath. And it is not easy. Just I say focus on your breath, you focus, it does not happen. Again, you're thinking, okay? Take a deep belly breathing, okay? Something like, take a deep belly breathing, okay? Take a deep belly breathing. If you notice your breath, there are 4 phases in your breath. 4 phases, it's not 2. There is an inhalation. There is a small pause, a small little micro gap. There is an exhalation. There is a small micro gap. There is an inhalation, right? One cycle of breath has 4 phases. Start focusing on that. Start start trying to practice this from now on, because whenever you are in a situation wherein you're anxious, you're not able to focus, you're not able to live in the moment, you're fearful, you're anxious, like what would happen, just take this, start practicing this. There are 4 phases. Okay, just for few seconds you say, I'm now focusing, close your eyes, take a deep belly breath, inhale, tell yourself, inhale, pause, exhale, pause, inhale, pause, exhale, pause. This is the simplest thing that you can do. Or you can also do one thing. Take 7 breaths in. Take the count. 1 pause, 7 breaths out, 1 pause. When you are focusing on that, the fear what you had thinking about your past failure, you're diverting your attention to the present moment and you're doing it. Why did I talk about breath? Because breath is something inside. The outside things will not divert you. This could be your first strategy. The second strategy, this is a very beautiful strategy and a very difficult strategy, let me tell you, but you will know how to live in the moment, okay? This is called walking meditation. It is a typical Buddhist technique that we usually use. So can somebody say, how do we walk? How do we walk? How do we walk? What are the various steps in walking? Did you ever think about it? So, you have something to say?
Why not?
No, that question itself was like, will someone ask me how do I walk?
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm asking you. Because you spend most of the things so mindlessly. I'm telling you, we have come to a situation wherein we say, how are you? We say, I'm fine. We don't even think really, I'm fine. Because mindless has become the part and parcel of our lives. Today's my session is to remove that mindlessness and bring in some mindfulness in the situation. That's the whole idea. You know how many steps are there in the walk? You'll be surprised if I tell you. What do? Let's say you need to put your left foot front. Okay, there is a left foot that is going in the front, then followed by the right, followed by the left, followed by the right. You're covering the steps. Is it not the way you walk? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Perfect. There you are. Yeah. But you know what is happening in the whole walk? First, you raise your foot. Let's say that I need to put my left foot. I raise my foot. There is a raise, front move, down, and I put the foot down on the ground. Right? There are 4 movements in one step. Did we ever think about it? Did we ever think about it? When we have to put a step, there is a raise, movement, down, then landing. Then right, lift, move, down, landing. There are 4 steps. If we have to put 2 steps, how much we do? We have to take 8 actions. But we never notice that. You never notice that. Never notice that. If you want to be trained in being mindful, being in the present, this is one of the beautiful instances. You will be worried that for me to walk from here to there, why is it taking half an hour? You know, in my room, if I have to walk from one corner to other corner, why is it taking? Because count the steps. You say left, move, down, step. You know, left, move, down, step. When you have to take a turn, then you say that turn, left, down, left, move, down, step. Start practicing this. It sounds funny, but I'm telling you, it creates a lot of change in you. You'll be surprised to see the change. You'll be literally surprised to see the change. Because that is how you're training your brain to notice every small thing that is happening in that moment. every small thing that is happening in that moment, because we have become so mindless. We have become so mindless, I'm telling you. Mindlessness is the biggest cause for all the misery in the world. Trust me, it is a fact. We don't know. We don't know, because there are three things that to be mindful. One is we give attention, we notice, and then we appreciate. These three things should happen. We give attention, we notice, and we appreciate. Okay, so this is the second strategy, probably a very simple strategy. We don't even teach our children like that. When a toddler is trying to put the first steps, we say that walk, 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 go, 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 come on. You hold it and keep moving. We don't tell that these are the various things that is happening in that. Then where are we building the attention? And second most important thing, food. That is the biggest
You want to come
problem.
with me and Sunny?
Food is the
You want
biggest
to come
problem.
with me and
The
Sunny?
TV is on, the cartoon is running, or the gaming is going on. Take the food and dump in. That's it. Ho gaya mera kaam khatam. The job is over. The child nowadays doesn't even know what is the taste of a certain food, because they have been mindlessly eating so much. We become like that. So next to my meditation is eating meditation. It sounds again funny, very, very funny. How do you eat? That's my question. It's a very silly question. Why are you asking such a question? No, this is a very silly question. Okay, I'll give you this eating meditation, which is interesting, very difficult to eat a bowl of. And you know what? When you are mindfully eating, obesity is one of the biggest problems, and uncontrollable eating is another biggest problem that we find nowadays with children, with adults, with all the lifestyle diseases. Most of the things are happening because you do not know how much your body needs. You're not getting the conscious of it. You're just eating. That's it. Fill in, bowl in, put it and eat it. Dump in. That's it. The job is over. Right? So today I will tell you how to eat properly. It's so silly at this age to talk about it, but this is the reality, because eating, walking, they're all the physical foundations of surviving in this world. They're the very, very basic things that we are talking about. Take a plate. Today, do this. I am the person who says you need to discuss, with the family to solve the problems. Eating could be the best time, but at least once in a while, one meal at least, take a bowl. Let's say that you are eating 2 idlis or 3 idlis or 4, whatever the number, whichever number you are eating, fill that plate with that, okay? And put what all the things you want, okay? Just go and sit alone. This is something to bring the mindfulness. Why did I take up eating? Because eating is the most common thing that we all do. So it is easy to train the brain. It's easy to train the mind on that. Okay. Fill the plate with that. Take the plate. Go and sit. First, feel the texture. Okay. Feel the texture of idli. Let's say you're all eating idli. Okay. Feel the texture of idli. Smell it. Use all your senses. Okay. Smell it. Okay. Then break it. Be very, very mindful when you're doing that. And take a small bite, put it in the tongue, and first taste it. Don't put it in the tongue and gulp it. Yeah, that is what we've been doing. You take and then keep eating that. Let's not do that. Take a bite of it, put it in the tongue, and see the taste. Experience the taste for a few seconds, then chew it. Then take it in. Don't go for second serving. What all you want to eat, get it at one go and sit down. Why are we doing this? Because it's one of the easiest way. It's very difficult to do, but it is, because what we do, we take it, chew it, and then we gulp it. Let's not do that. Okay. So let us do that. Even if you have to drink water, don't mindlessly drink water. Take a glass and then dabak, the job is over. Don't do that. Take a sip. Be mindful about it. Because this is the way you can start training your mind from going into the past and the future and being in the present. The reason why I gave this very simple, but they're not simple, trust me, they're very difficult to do, because we have already trained so much mindlessness in our lives that it's not so easy. It's not as easy as I tell you. It's very, very difficult. And why did I give these strategies? Because it's a part and parcel of your life on a day-to-day basis. So it becomes easy for you to start training, start training. There should be a conducive environment for mindful eating or something else to practice. That's the reason why I say conduciveness is something that you please create. At least one meal, you take your plate and then sit. There is no diversion. Just sit and eat and enjoy. just enjoy. Feel what is going inside you. Feel that movement that is going inside you, because we are here. The idea is not to create a mindful eating. The whole idea is to create an attitude for eating, an attitude for your mind to be in the moment at everything. So this could be your second thing. Water, don't gulp water just like that. Be mindful. What is happening? How do I drink water? We are talking about the very basic things. So, and next most important thing, how do you bring out happiness in your life? Because most of the times we feel only if we think about the past and the future. The moment you wake up, be happy you're alive. Is it not the reason there are many people who don't even see the next day? They don't even see the next day, you know. The moment you wake up, you say, I'm happy, I'm alive. Tell yourself, I'm happy, I'm alive, you know. Get into use all your five senses. Why are the senses given to us? We have to use them. Let's not be mindless. Let's use our senses. That's very important. Let's use our senses. Okay, go and see. There are some beautiful birds. You enjoy. Wow, they are beautiful. Tell this. Say, yeah, birds are there. They have to fly in the sky. What's big deal about it? If we start seeing that there's no life at all. If there is water in the beach. Oh, the water is beautiful. Oh, what is there? The water is in the beach. That's a common thing. If we start thinking that way, making coffee and you get aroma from coffee and you say that what is aroma from coffee is good. You say if you brew the coffee, the aroma comes. If we start thinking that way, there's no happiness in life at all, no matter how big things we do. Let us start being mindful. Let us start observe. Let us be aware of what is happening in this point of time. At this point, I smell a good coffee. Wow, this is nice. I smell, as I told you, we are so much used to, used to measuring, our happiness in quantity. We miss out on many important lot of happiness. It could be good MS Subbalakshmi, Vishnu Sahasranamam in the morning. It could be your smell from the flowers. It could be good food smell. It could be, use all your five senses and start noting down. You tell yourself, today I'm going to note at least 5 things that make me happy. After 10 days, you write in your diary, start writing, start journaling your observations. You say, these made me happy, these are good. And don't question that coffee, though it has to give smell. So what is big deal about it? Then if you start thinking that way, then there's no life. If you make dosa, it will smell. If you make sambar, it will smell. Of course they smell. If it doesn't smell, then your cooking is bad. No, if it smells, then appreciate that. Appreciate that. Okay. Let us not undermine the beauty what is surrounding us. Let us not undermine the things that can give us happiness. So with this, I say that you need to start noting down. You need to start noting down at least 5 things, then 10 things, then 12 things, then 15 things, then 20 things. Start doing this. Then one fine day, you will know, after a couple of years, you will see, oh my God, I'm such a happy person. You'll say that. You'll tell yourself that I'm such a happy person. There are many happy things. Let me tell you, you need to feel sad only for one thing. If a person dies. Because when you die, you cannot do anything. Right? Except during that situation. Every other situation, there is a solution. As long as you are living, you have an option to do anything in life. And let me also tell you one thing. So something is losing you doesn't mean that you're lost forever. Let me add a little spiritual angle, being a spiritual person here. If something is lost, just know that that will not do good to you. Please note that. If something, you're losing something, it's your craziness that you're so attached to it. But trust me, the fact is, it will not do good to you. That's the reason why it does not come to you. It does not come to you. With that thought, let me call it, the day from my side, and I'm ready to take up some questions.
Thank you, Kavita. It was a fantabulous session. How to live in the moment and emotional poverty. You beautifully coined that word. Then engage yourself. For older people, you mentioned engage yourself. I think I can say positive relationship, right? Positive social relationship.
It could be anything. See, it could be like, I know very well that there is a couple like whose job is to call children and teach them Vishnu Sahasranamam.
Yeah,
That sounds, that it doesn't
engaging
sound
them.
easy, but it is something that is something great, that they're doing.
Yeah, yeah. It was a wonderful, thought-provoking session today. Yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed your session. We want more upcoming sessions from you. Yeah. Yeah, Guna sir, you want to interact with ma'am?
Yes, of course. It's really fantastic. It is interesting. A lot. um, Eagerly awaiting some of the answers, and it was really awesome. I'm really thankful for that, and I really enjoyed this session. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, others can interact. Yeah, Sudha Garu, Jyoti Raja ma'am.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think I just want to add one more point. Kavita, it's a wonderful session. I think if you remember in the olden days, people used to Anna Prasadam. Instead of saying only food or something, they used to say Anna Prasadam. And
Absolutely.
we used to take it as a prasadam to both eyes and touching the eyes and then say, offering that God. Then we started eating actually. It's a very good tradition. I think the mindfulness which we are talking about right now, people really started that earlier days. I think we forgot in between.
Yes, absolutely. That's
Yes.
my point. The technology has
Even
spoiled us. That's the
at the
reason why
same
we have
time,
a
when you
biggest
go to a
poverty.
temple or anywhere, when they give the tirtham or something,
Yeah.
even though we know it's very little, but the way we drink, and sometimes when you're very thirsty, the moment somebody offers you a few drops of water, and we take it such a delightfully that I think this is the first and last drop which we are drinking. Maybe somewhere down the lane we forgot all these. Maybe I should not call it as a rituals, but I think we need to teach our children. First, we have to practice it. Whether before we
Now,
eat, then we
any
have to practice.
ritual in the past had a discipline of respect towards the work that they
True.
are doing.
Exactly. Exactly.
In a way,
True.
trying to bring that, that element of honor of doing something. Because I'm sitting, I'm listening to something, and another fellow that she's called, she has to talk. There is no point. I mean, that we are not getting connected there. But when I start thinking, there is something that I learn, on 10 things, one thing that I learn probably maybe this I'm not connecting, this I don't say that everything that you talk has to get connected, okay? But there would be one or half, in that gets connected. Unless until we listen, we don't do it. And I think this is all to get the discipline into the whole story.
Exactly. And the one point which I feel that emotional connect which you're talking about it is missing it nowadays. I think I think we are missing that emotional connect. That's the reason we don't do anything mindfully and we do it actually like mechanically. Most of the times it's mechanical. It's a wonderful session, Kavita. Really, I thoroughly enjoyed the session.
yeah. Thank you, Jyoti ma'am.
Hi, ma'am. Suganya here. Thank you
Yes.
so much. It was very nice listening to you. And the way you were telling the content and, your voice, how you articulated, everything was so soothing to hear. And I'm just adding one more point. I had an experience in a hotel in Bangalore. There is a hotel by name, I think it was called as Blindfold, if my memory is right. Maybe the practitioners in the call who is based out of Bangalore can make a note of it. What they do is the moment you enter the hotel, they'll blindfold your eyes. You cannot
Yes.
see anything in the hotel, and it's not so posh place. They'll give you a simple, meal which has how we used to serve in our homes. There will be multiple cups where the sambar will be kept, the vegetables will be kept, and it was just one chapati and very simple meal. But what they do the moment you enter, and they'll give you some games, you have to feel and find it out, and they'll give you certain aromatic items, you have to smell and find out, and certain objects will be given, you have to feel it and you have to draw it, and then they will serve you and you have to eat and come out. So that until the moment you step out of the hotel, the blindfold will remain. And it was a
Yes.
wonderful experience. Maybe for relationship counselors or people who are based out of there, they can make use of that place if people want to travel. Or otherwise, even we can try the same at home also. It will be very interesting.
Absolutely.
Weekend is upcoming. I think we can have some fun at family.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much for
Sukanya.
sharing that.
Yeah. Yeah, even mindful walking also you beautifully explained, Kavita. Lift, move, then down, walk, right? 4 steps.
Yes.
Yeah. Each side of four, then we have to make 8 steps, right? Counting
Yes.
eight.
It's very difficult to walk, I'm telling you. It's not easy because I gave this exercise to take 3 steps. They said, we have lost it, ma'am. They go back again. For them, I said, see how mindless you have been in your life, all your life. You've
Very
trained
true.
yourself so,
Yeah.
then they said, no, ma'am, I think this is something that's the first thing that I train people on. The basic things like walking and eating, forget about other big things.
Yeah. Today, those who are attended, maybe they will practice today onwards. Yeah, I think we can conclude today's session with the formation. Yeah, Naveen, you can go for VOT. Naveen, are you there?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, please.
Thank you, ma'am. It was a wonderful and fantabulous session. You gave a lot of lovely inputs on mindfulness, how to engage that, ma'am. Thank you so much for that, ma'am. Please accept our gratitude on behalf of Manasa Subhara Mindcare and Elopan Counseling Center, Hyderabad, Forest Creative Art Studio, Punjab. Thank you, ma'am. Keep happy and keep learning. Thank you.
Bye, friends. Good night.